Hey Capricorn, happy Lunar New Year. That's right, we're in a new lunar cycle. I am recording this the day after Lunar New Year, but we're still in the slot, and that's when I'm recording. So guys, this is for the 1st of February until the 9th. Because I'm doing weekly readings, it makes sense to just do it for the long period, so that we can get into our rhythm of doing weeklies. So please do subscribe so that you can keep up to date with your weekly energy reading. I will also be doing monthlies as well. So I'm using the Queen of the Moon Oracle and also Moonology. I felt like it was a cool thing to use moon inspired cards for the lunar cycle time, so that's what we're doing. Let me just move these cards out the way. Okay, so we're starting with Resilience, Capricorn. Interesting. So this card is in the position of the self. Like, this is the energy that you personally are in, and you're in resilience. This could mean that you're feeling a lot of the weight of everything right now, which makes sense. The energy and the planetary alignments are basically very intense at the moment. So we will be feeling the feels that have been building up over time, and so you may be feeling like you're kind of reminiscing on the past and bringing things to the surface. Things may be coming up which are reminding you of things that you've been through as well. So that's just an energy that you're sitting in, to be aware of, that you don't have to hold the burdens of the past. The past is meant to be left there. It's not meant to be brought with us. I do feel like you're bringing a lot of weeds with you. So any traumas and things that are being triggered right now, I feel like it's making you carry that with you still. So this is something to be mindful of and to try and release, because again, we're living in the present. We're not living back there. What we are supposed to learn from history is lessons, like things that we go through, for example, when we have gone through these, like, there's emotions that are key there. You loved hard. You worked your way through things. They're the gifts and the lessons you bring forward, not the I struggled once and it was hard and it's reminding me of that, and so I'm now struggling again. No, that's meant to stay there in the past, because you're not struggling now. You're not going through it now. They're reminders of the things that you need to ensure for your future being in alignment with where you want to be, right? So I just feel like perspective is needed with this resilience card, but also it is here a reminder to show you that you are strong, and that again, you have been through things, and look how far you have come, and you'll continue to grow and nurture yourself into a better space, or even into the space you've already started to build for yourself, because that is the energy that we're sitting in right now. The next 3 cards are in reverse. We have Wisdom. So reverse is basically, hey, I want you to pay attention to this with these decks. So yeah, it just wants you to hear this. Wisdom. Now, exactly what I was just saying. Wisdom represents you being on a journey, but also you've read the books, you've got the knowledge, you studied, you learned, okay? The education, the college of life, whatever they call it. You have been growing as a person, and you have all of this knowledge with you now. It's on the boat. If you look, this is how I read it. She's on a boat. You know, she's standing atop of her books, and that is all of the wisdom that she has with her, that she's taking on her journey as she reaches for her goals and her dreams. And this is exactly it. You have all that you need, and you've learned so much, and you've grown so much. Now, if you hold that closer to your heart than the actual learning, then, like, when you go to school or college, a good way of perspective, this is a good way of looking at it. When you go to school, or a trade school or a college or anything, even secondary school, going through school, you don't remember how you learned stuff. You remember things like when you're sat there talking and someone brings up a topic about history, like one of the kings of England or something. I'm English, so that's what came to my mind. But like learning about one of the kings, and you remember what you learned. You don't remember exactly how you learned for the most part. At least that's not something that stays with you unless it's triggered. You go, oh, I remembered I did a project that made me learn this. Maybe, but for the most part, that's not it. You're like, oh yes, I learned about him, and he beheaded his wives and all this kind of stuff, right? That's the knowledge you brought with you. The wisdom is that that's irrelevant here, sorry. The thing is that you recalled stuff that you learned, right? That's it now. You're recalling things you learned to ensure that you can grow as a person and make better choices or different choices or the same choices, depending on the outcome that you want, right? This is what I feel here is essential for you. It's shifting the focus onto what is productive and shifting it away from what is more halting you, hindering you, keeping you in a space where you don't even want to be. That's what I want you to kind of look at here. Yes, I was going to say you don't have a reflected card, but you do, but we'll get to that when we get to it. Next is blossoming. So you have so much growing and blooming in your life at the moment, but again, it's blossoming, so you're probably starting to see things coming to fruition and starting to feel more relaxed and in this. Just make sure you're keeping your attention on where it needs to be. Again, this is a card of focusing towards the path that you want to go on because you're already growing and nurturing things into existence for yourself, so ensuring that that's carrying on. Definitely things coming into completion for you, but again, keeping your line of sight where you want to be and not allowing the distraction. If there's a lot of noise, you may be focusing on the wrong things, and again, that's just something that slows you down. So just realize, and we will touch on that again anyway because that's further down. Attraction. So again, you have two like full moons in these two cards. We've got flower moon and we've got super moon. Super moon is amplified, so it's saying, you know, you are attracting what you desire, what you want, or you're attracting whatever it is, like you're manifesting. So you're attracting what you're putting out there. So again, this is a little reminder, because we're going to talk about it again in a second anyway, a little bit. It's a reminder that you are attracting what you keep within. So if you are keeping within like the past and bad things, that you're living in that space. You're not living in them now. You're not living in the future, and it's not going to be supportive of where you want to be or what you want in life. It's going to be supportive of what you've had and where you've been in life. So I think that this is needed for you, but you are attracting everything that you have going on right now. So again, it's being knowledgeable of your own energy. So again, assessing that. Your next card is assessing, so that's why we're about to go on to this. But it's a very great time for attraction for you, Capricorn, which means you can attract exactly what you're wanting right now. So again, the caution with this because I'm feeling this caution here for you, Capricorn. The caution is be aware of what you're attracting, because you are attractive. Like, you are a magnet right now. So if you're attracting the wrong things, it's there. But the positive with this is that you are in a period of attraction. You are magnetized right now, so it's a really good time for you to be blossoming and going and keeping your focus on where it is that you want to be. So this is a positive reading so far. Lots of guidance here, which is what we want, right? We want the guidance. We want to know about the energy we're working in, and I feel like, Capricorn, yours is coming through really clear and really strong, so that's good. Next, you have assessing. Okay, so assessing is about looking at things objectively, right? She is in, I'll show you the imagery, she's in a hot air balloon, she's looking through a telescope, and she's looking at potentially her dreams, her goals, just looking, observing, even looking at the current situations. She's not involved, she's not on ground level, she's not in the battle, she's just sitting above it, watching and observing, right? She's assessing, right? Soon she's going to have to go back down. The hot air is not going to last forever to keep her floating. She's going to come back down to the earth, right? So then that is when you assess the situation. This is a time for you to just look upon it, see the changes that you might need to change, see the direction you're going in, observe, assessing. I do feel like a self-assessment is needed. The way that this reading is going, a self-assessment is needed, which makes sense because most of these readings have all been about a person going within and aligning themselves with them and their goals and where they are, and blocking out the noise of everything else. So if you do feel heavy, hot, angry, frustrated, irritated emotions, get above it and assess it from a space that's not involved in it. And I know that that can be hard, especially at the moment. There's a lot of intense energy, so it will be a difficult thing if you are really in it, but the guidance is to step away and get it back and assess, kind of me, because we've got the void. Now the void can be a little bit of depressive energy, but I kind of feel like with this card it comes with finding your peace in the darkness is what will lead you towards the light. It actually helps you grow. So if you often find when we go through our darkest phases in our life, like the depressive stages, there's a lot of rest. They do say like depression is like deep rest, depress. You need deep rest. You need to rest the soul, rest the spirit, rest the body, and that is productive. That is active. I would say that look at your darkest times. Did you rest or did you force? Did you be a force to reckon with? Were you a bull from a china shop and you just forced your way through like survival mode? That's not resting, and I feel like that's what could be being called to you, or be also a result in where you are now because you haven't allowed that. So maybe you are allowing that, and that being just the medicine that is needed. But also this can be a card of dark feelings, so again it might be a period of time again for you to rest, recuperate, and realize that resting is one of the best actions and courses of actions that we can do for ourselves. It resets your nervous system. It also means that things can, because you don't have to always be involved in everything and in all of the business of everything all the time. You can be a leader and you can step back and observe and see what is the best course of action to take. Or you can just be a follower. You can be someone who is dictated to or has someone do everything for them, and then you are not really participating. So be the leader that you are, that you can be, that have the capacity to be, by doing what is in your best interest of the self, in order to move forward. Now gratitude, there's a lot of love and support around you. I need to sneeze, I think. If I sneeze, I apologize, but I can feel it building. The gratitude card is now that you have a lot of support around you, or you have people looking up to you actually. This, typically the gratitude card can be like, being grateful for where you are and how far you've come and that kind of thing. But actually I feel as though it's more leaning towards there being people out there who do love and are grateful for you and your existence and what you have, or for you to be grateful for, and that. And I do think that actually, as I said, that perhaps there are people in your life again that have gone above and beyond or do a lot more for you than you realize. I would say that even sometimes, like as I say this, I feel like maybe there are people that have had to step up and do your role for you. Your role being like, it could mean a numerous of things, right? It can literally just be making choices. Like someone else had to make the choices for you because you weren't able to, or someone else had to make the hard choice. Someone had to be the cold one. Someone had to be this, that, X, Y, Z, because you weren't able to. And I feel like this is the whole point, is like showing gratitude, or just not even showing, just in yourself, like having that gratitude there that someone else stepped up when you couldn't, which I feel is a beautiful thing to offer yourself and to offer others as well. But also with this, I get this children here, like, because I'll show you the imagery. It's like a child's hand. It's not, I don't know if it is a child's hand. They're just smaller hands holding onto an elderly hand. But to me, it's inspiring, like children, being grateful for the children that you have in your life, and maybe acknowledging where you are today and how that they can be influencing that as well, and influencing the person you are today. I hope that makes sense. After all this reading, the last card of this deck is New Beginnings. So I feel like you're coming towards a new beginning. The fact it's towards the end of the reading, I would say that it's coming up, but you're not in that space of brand new beginnings now. You're in the phase of prepping, sowing the seeds, and doing the rest that you need to do. And I think that's it, because I feel like the medicine being that you need to take a step back and be an objective and to rest rather than being proactive. That is proactive, but like being out and putting yourself out there, taking directive motions. This is about stepping back, and I feel like you will step through a door into the openings, but it's coming. It's not here now. So now is not the time to be forcing new things or forcing the energy to shift and change with you. Again, we're flowing and we're feeling. That definitely is what needs to be during this time. But it's a good card. It means favorable outcomes. It means good times ahead, but it just means you're not ready for that space just yet. Okay, Capricorn, we're in the Moonology cards. So with these cards, I feel like they kind of round up the energy that we've just been reading. We have you and your loved ones are safe. So again, this is about getting out of the worry state and getting out of that feeling trapped and feeling like the burdens of the world, the resilience card, and you are getting into that non-fight and flight stance. You want to get out of that fight and flight. You want to get into the peace where you are able to make informed decisions and be in your essence in a way that's organic and natural to you and not irrational and impulsive and going from a place of fear. Prosperity lies ahead, and that's exactly what I'm saying. Good things ahead of you. So good times, prosperity, abundance, all the things that you desire and crave. You're a magnet. You're attracting it, right? So ensure that you are magnetizing the right things, but it's saying good things ahead. Conclusions are within reach, means things are coming to an end, which makes sense. We have new beginnings, so things end, new beginnings come in. That doesn't necessarily mean something is coming to a direct end and things are ending. That can be the case, and it does mean that as well, but it doesn't necessarily. Sometimes a new beginning is just turning over, like closing the chapter, closing that book, and we're on to the next series, right? A life is a series, it's not a one book. I've been reading a lot lately, so that's my influence. But you know what I mean. Your life is a good is a good series. You're living through a series of events, and you're moving on to this new beginnings, and wondering what's going to happen next. And it's kind of an exciting time. I'm excited. But again, you are advised to meditate and contemplate. So it is a time for rest. It is a time for self-assessment. It's a time for you to just plan and think and do all of the things that are going to get you into the space where you want to be right now. It is about the self. So again, focusing on that and how you are in your environment, in your friendships, in your families, your relationships, your workplaces, and whether it aligns with all that you desire in this life. So thank you so much, Capricorn. Thank you for being here. Please subscribe to my channel. I hope to be doing weekly and monthly. Obviously, I've just started up again, so watch this space. Thank you guys for being here, and I look forward to spending the year with you.